What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of Wrecked Bike Rebuild. This is our 2016 Ducati Paningli that we will give away to one of the beautiful people on Patreon, which is how we support this show. My name is Chaseontwowheels, or my name is Chase. This is Chaseontwowheels. That's Brian. You're being floated around by Luke. This is Wrecked Bike Rebuild, where we build motorcycles. We take them from wrecked bikes, we turn them into dream bikes, and he's gonna say,
"What's that?"
Say we give them away.
Oh, you mean
we give them away?
You mean we give them away?
Yeah. So, if you want to win the finished motorcycle once it's phenomenal with Ohlins, and all other fancy stuff, check out Patreon in the link down below. And now, we can begin the intro. In today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to show you at home how easy it might be to replace your rear shock if you have a 2016 Ducati Paningli. Just kidding, you don't have a Paningli because this is the only Paningli. This needs to go into the beginning of the video. Everybody, please, if you're watching this video, tweet Termignoni or email them and be like, hey, you need to go watch this video because there's problems. We're at the end of filming it, but you're about to watch this video and this does not end well. You could like the video too. That would help us. That would help. Look at Brian's face. Hit that like button so Brian... No, stop. We're pissed. You're gonna have to watch the rest of the video to find out why we're pissed, but this does not end well. Don't show the, show it.
Edit.
Oh, right. You don't even know what this is. Ha! We have Ohlins front. We have an Ohlins damper. So, who the hell would put anything else on this motorcycle other than a brand new Ohlins rear shock from our beautiful people at Moto Million. Guys, if you have not heard of Moto Million yet, that's probably because you haven't watched any of these episodes, but Moto Million is where we are getting the vast majority of the parts for this motorcycle. If you would like to get a discount on the parts that you want to get off Moto Million, you can use discount code CHASE. That'll get you a little bit of a discount. So you don't got to pay full price, because who the hell likes paying full price for anything? Almost did not. No, I'm good. Good. Thanks. Okay. Appreciate it. Okay. Ohlins rear shock, we're gonna get the subframe back on, and I'm not going to touch the exhaust. There's been a lot of comments where when we installed our front exit Termignoni exhaust, supposedly in another episode, like I grabbed.
I'm sure we have. Everything's gonna get wiped down before it gets covered anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
So Brian, you think I can do this whole thing by myself?
No. No.
Okay, so before we started filming, Brian said, it's 2 bolts. It's whatever. So why?
Oh, the shock, yeah.
Yeah.
The shock is 2 bolts.
What do you think? What did you think?
What else are we putting on?
The rear subframe.
Right. No, I don't think you could put the subframe on by yourself.
Test your might.
Mortal Kombat.
Are you challenging yourself?
What?
Are you challenging yourself to do that?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Now I'm challenged. You can't say that's what I thought to another man and then be like,
that was what I thought.
Okay, I got a razor blade. Watch your mouth, Brian. You knife.
He's got a little tiny razor blade, and I got a little tiny knife. Supposedly,
one of our awesome Patreon people are sending us knives. We will unbox them on an episode if that happens. Y'all never see Luke, but he's like a little gremlin. He's just like, and then all you see is...
Now is a perfect time for that clip that we took before.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, yes. Look at this.
It's a shiny box.
Why the hell? Oh, adjusting? Nice.
Did he pick one out for us, or did we pick out a rear shock?
I gave him all the notes on the rider size, and he made all the, I guess, like you order it, when you order these things.
You have to order the spring separately and then have them assembled.
I guess so, but ta-da!
Wow.
Right.
Do you want me to explain to you how to do this so it goes smoothly, or do you want to fumble through it?
I would like to attempt to do it myself, but with a big asterisk, do not allow me to mess something up.
Or do you just want to fumble around with shit in your hands the whole time?
No, I'm reading the directions.
Okay, so we already discussed that was the easy part.
Right.
So the directions for the subframe are non-existent, and that's what we're referring to. That's the difficult part. And you're still over here looking through the directions to put the shock on. That's 2 bolts.
I was thinking when you said, do I want to fumble through it, I still thought there was like a secret to the rear shock. So.
Well, see, I'm not trying to give you too much information because you haven't decided whether or not you want me to explain to you how to do this, or if you want to fumble through it.
Okay, answer this question. Is it smarter for me to put the rear subframe on before I change the shock out?
No.
Dang it. I was getting a really good feeling. Okay.
Not really.
All right, so give me an overview. Give me an overview and then I'll...
Okay, please. Look at the bike. Where does the subframe attach? How do you put it on? Where does it go?
Subframe lays here. Shield is attached to the subframe, and it goes on top of this.
Okay. Now you have the subframe with the heat shield over the rear cylinder head pipe.
Yes.
And you've got to install 4 bolts. Do you see any issues with that?
I don't think so. Like if I took them out and then slotted it in, potentially. But what, am I like totally missing?
Yep,
like
absolutely. Take all 4 bolts out. Take the 4 subframe bolts off of the motorcycle right now. It's gonna click, and I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna watch until it finally clicks.
12 seconds later.
In the meantime, while I unscrew this bolt, let's have a conversation. So,
this is not 20 questions.
Now, I realize that we have a different exhaust and the old shield's not gonna fit on there, so we have to replace the heat shield before we can put the rear subframe on.
Correct.
Was that the big...
What are you doing right now? Imagine that bolt that's in your hand right now is tight. Or you have to tighten it. Okay. I couldn't get you there without saying something.
You're referring to an order of operations of remove stock shock, remove old heat shield, install new heat shield, install new subframe, install new shock.
You get it now? Why I made you work through that so hard?
Yeah, okay.
Because you're gonna put a brand new, super clean, perfectly shiny carbon fiber heat shield over that beautiful pipe. And then you're gonna jam a big ass tool down along the side of it to get to that piece of hardware because it screws in from this direction and possibly destroy or damage the heat shield when we're already replacing the shock, so you could just pull the shock out of the way and get to that. Now, that being said, we don't want to have the weight of this motorcycle resting on the exhaust system for very long.
Before we take this out. So the
order in which we need to, well, see, here's the thing is the subframe on this bike doesn't pivot down and on. You kind of have to like slide it in.
Right.
So we can't like get this started.
Okay.
I guess we could lay it in here and do the 2 top bolts.
And this is all with this boy still on.
Yep.
Because when we take this off, the bike is essentially going to become a
talker. It will
talker.
want to, just fold in half.
Okay.
So we'll get the subframe where it needs to go.
Right.
And some of the bolts started.
Right.
So the subframe will hang in its place.
Right.
Then we can remove the shock, tighten that subframe bolt, and then put the new shock back in and get the weight of the motorcycle off the bottom of the bike.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the brand new heat shield on, since that's not a mission critical, like,
Correct.
sitch.
We are prepping for the next step.
What do those go into? So we were looking at the heat shield because it is
Obviously very different.
Yes, it's very different, and we deduced that the top obviously goes in underneath the
License plate bracket.
license plate
You're welcome
bracket.
for words.
Always. Then we got the two holes that match here in the middle, but the main issue part was at the top, there's nothing to go into the frame, but we have these little, as they are Italianly referred to as tampons, just like little rubber stoppers. Now we can take that off and get this underneath there. All right, first hurdle. A little early in the game, but
All right, Chase has no words, so I'm gonna explain this for you. We're trying to figure out how to get the aftermarket heat shield mounted to the subframe so we can mount it onto the bike and cover the new exhaust system. The way the directions show how to do it, there's a set of passenger pegs on the bike that they're showing on the directions, and we don't have passenger pegs on our bike, so some of our hardware is different, and they don't show how to install it without the passenger pegs on it. So we're a little confused as to whether everything is going to line up correctly for us or not. But I think we kind of got it lined out at this point.
yeah. So
Now we just need proper hardware.
And first step, are we still gonna tap the?
Yeah, we need to
hole?
get all the old Loctite and stuff out of these holes and corrosion and whatnot.
So it's bracket and then the that guy.
And then the hardware.
And now we're gonna switch the hardware from here to here,
Yep, and then
So
from
the-
here to there so everything fits nicely.
because so if you guys notice, these bolts were used in the rear of the bracket, but they're a lot longer than the ones that go here in the middle. But if we swap these silver ones should fit in the back and the black ones should fit in the front, we think. That's our current risk assessment.
So now we want to prepare the motorcycle.
Yes. Prepare the motorcycle. Wait, what do you mean prepare the motorcycle?
Are you in the room?
Yeah, but like we've already got the hardware off up here.
What's the next step? What did we talk about before?
Right. We were taking that off so we could quickly, so we wouldn't have to spend this much time. I thought we were gonna prep this like up here and have it kind of ready to go. Do you think we should just wait on that then?
If we can get that shock out and just drop the subframe on, put the bolts in it, and then put the new shock back in, it's like, why
Okay.
have this thing hanging out here in front of us that's going to be in the way?
Right. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing we did last time. It's lift, wood, motorcycle.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're going to try and get something on the oil pan, not so much on the pipe. All right, well, don't put any pressure on it yet.
Okay. All right, so it's not touching, but it's
They're ready to go.
right.
All right, now let's find all the tools we need to take the shock off. Find all the tools we need to put the subframe hardware in.
So, are those? Do we have those? We do. Yay.
We got it off, right?
Yeah, but we're crafty. So, all right. Are these all the
Teach
same
you a little
size?
trick about that stuff?
What? Tap the top of them?
Yes. So if you have the hardware in your hand, instead of keep
Right.
pulling sockets out of your drawer, you just fit the hardware onto what's there.
That's the subframe hardware. Now that boy. Why am I always one off?
Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could actually like, get to that?
Yes, but this is part of this whole thing.
Are you sure?
I mean, it goes in here. This goes into that.
Are you sure? You're positive now.
Yep. I now know the error of noise. I mean, if I would have grabbed it at the right spot, then yeah, I might have seen that. But
Now you know.
and I saw this guy. See, it's a black bolt with a silver washer on black. I was like, bro, I see it and I know what to do. Anyway,
I already took the tool out, and you can do it that way, I think. What do you keep? Give me this thing. Look at a real extension. That wobble thing is gonna kill you.
that wobble thing, that was a real extension?
No, it had a wobble head on it. Do you know what the difference is?
I mean, obviously not.
The
but-
top of it, where the socket goes on, that one's all flat and square. That one's got angles cut into it, so the socket moves around on the tip.
Oh, I see.
That allows the socket to move around.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. I just thought it was
And
loose.
you always grab this one. Always.
It's probably
grab
because it
this
has a material. All right, this is the difference. If somebody had never seen this before, they might not have known that. So that's good knowledge. Okay,
So go ahead and crack both of those loose.
cracking it loose isn't going to relieve.
It's not
any of the
going
pressure.
anywhere.
Okay.
A little bit of pressure in there, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, that's enough. That's crack loose would have been the bing, and then you're done.
I feel like a doctor right now.
Good.
So now we're gonna relieve the pressure on the rear shock.
Now the easiest way to tell if you've gotten the pressure off is to put a tool in one of the bolts and back it out, and when you feel it get real loose, you've taken the pressure off.
Okay. I mean, I can easily do this now, and I wasn't able to like 2 seconds ago. So is that
Go a
good?
tiny bit more. Okay. It's still loose?
Right.
Then you're good.
Okay, so I'm taking this out now.
Yep. There it is. There was just a little bit of tension on it.
Right.
Now you can take the front one out. The weight of the bike is now on the jack
Okay, for sure, because it's
because this isn't attached anymore.
right.
Hey, we have to put the subframe on? Isn't that why we're doing it like this now anyway?
Yes. The anxiety got to me. Okay, carbon fiber. Gotta be careful.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay, good. Tighten that bolt and this one on this side, and then we can put the shock back in and get the weight off of the exhaust system and the engine case.
Right. How are we gonna torque that to any sort of spec?
I'll show you. But we don't have the spec for it, do we?
Not right now.
So what we do is you take the little tiny ratchet off, you get a 1/4-inch socket from your box, and then you put the torque wrench on the 1/4-inch socket and put the 1/4-inch socket on the end of that tool, and away you go. See, here is now where I thought we were gonna have a problem, and we have a problem.
That little side bolt's not.
Yeah, that's not even close. Not even in the neighborhood.
So you're talking about the little hole on the side of the heat shield.
All right, come see what I'm looking at.
So it's like right here.
Yeah, it's way over here. And this is resting on the swing arm.
So the first issue was the hole problem.
That is the issue.
That is the entire issue. Okay. What's your thought on what to make it not do that? Or slightly adjust it?
I am going to put this bracket, so actually, can I do it? So it goes in that side.
Do you want me to take the rubber things out since we'll probably need
Just
to-
let me get the thing off first.
You're saying this is what happens when you make one part that has to fit like 1,000 things? Mm-hmm. What did you guys like decide.
I moved this so it's on the other side of the subframe. It's not down here, it's up here.
Okay.
Hopefully that works. I don't know if it's gonna or not until we put it back on and try.
I'm the same way with the gimbal. Now that it's not. When there's smoke, the whole forest already burnt down, you know what I'm saying?
2 hours later.
Round two.
Round 2, fight.
Now it has to go on like that.
Right. Do you want to grab that cable?
Does the bottom, make sure it all goes in. Because I don't think it's gonna.
I think though.
Nope, the heat shield is now in the way. Now it's touching the cylinder head.
Yeah, right here, it won't let it go any farther forward.
Okay, back off again.
They were playing the game.
And a lot of a game.
It's the put it together, take it apart game.
So are we going with original plan 1 that has side not fitting?
I have no idea what I'm gonna do right now.
Right. Let's take a team pause right now because between the gimbal issues and that and this, like we're gonna call it T. We're gonna be right back.
Chase is holding a cutting utensil. Things are not good.
Yeah, you guys are probably watching this and saying to yourselves, Chase, why are you plugging in a Dremel tool?
And holding a carbon fiber heat shield.
So guys, it's been a minute. We took some time, did some research. Obviously, we've tested different
Options?
options, ways of installation. We've all been doing this. Isn't this not just Chase's idea? So this isn't like some stupid idea. We've been texting back and forth with Manny at Moto Million. So thanks, Manny, for helping us out. Our solution currently,
Whatever.
let's move over here so you guys can get the full picture. We're having clearance issues, but even if we weren't having these issues, this hole, if fit into this slot, there's a fin right here that touches the swing arm. Right here, this is touching and this hole is lined up. So that's a fitment issue. For you guys that might not be aware, the swing arm moves a lot while the motorcycle is in operation. It's constantly doing this.
And that piece of carbon fiber would wear through that aluminum swing arm before you even knew what happened.
So cutting this is the only option we have right now. Mm-hmm. And cutting this carbon fiber heat shield is not even going to guarantee that this is going to be fixed, the fitment issue up here.
Right, because our fitment issue here is that this bolt hole, this mounting tab for the heat shield so it doesn't vibrate, doesn't line up.
Right. There's a chance that if we cut this, it will give us enough flex
To get this
to
bolt to
get
line
that
up.
in.
But we don't know until we cut it off.
But cutting it off is an absolute requirement. So that's where we're at. We are cutting the carbon fiber on a $4-something thousand
Carbon fiber heat shield from a $4,600 exhaust system. Because $4,600 exhaust systems need to be modified with cutting tools. Needless to say, I'm a little upset over this whole thing.
Our recommendation from Manny is use a brand new sharp Dremel cutoff wheel and cut along the edge. So that's where we are.
Thought we were done with this kind of shit when we got done with the bobber.
You ready?
No.
I'm going to tell you right now that you're not set up very good.
Help set me up so I can achieve success, or I have the best chance.
You want to put that down so it can't move around in your hands while you're trying to cut it, because if it skips on the carbon fiber, it's going to make a mark wherever it touches.
Okay.
So you want to put this someplace, even if you have to put something down and put it like this and hold it down while you cut it.
Right.
You want it to be firm.
Right, and it can't be...
You don't want to hold it floating, because then this shakes and this shakes and there's just way too much stuff going on.
The reason we all have respirators on is because carbon fiber dust.
Yeah, no good. Did you see how it's all over your hands?
Yeah.
It's so fine. You breathe that stuff in, it's really not good for you.
You gonna hold it?
I have to.
Okay.
looks pretty smooth, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot for having to cut off a giant chunk.
All right, now we got to reassemble everything and try it again.
I'm gonna get some B-roll of that because that's a really good job.
Do we want to put these on in the direction that they say to? Like the instructions, how it had them up the other.
I guess we can. Doesn't make any sense, but sure, why not?
Hey, it doesn't make sense. Turns out neither does cutting a carbon fiber heat shield. Try to keep telling myself like, hey, it's frustrating, but at least we're going through it, so if somebody sees this, they'll know.
Okay, round 4.
Is it 4?
I think so.
Feels like 12. It's taken so long our lift lights died. That's when you know the S has really hit the fan.
Don't you think it would be easier to hold it from underneath here? Hey, that's a little easier, isn't it? Oh, we should probably put the heat shield on.
That's where we are today, boys.
Yep.
Wow. This is the aftermarket mod. It's called the heated up mod, where you just remove the heat shield and just let the full exhaust sit underneath the driver or rider, whatever you want to call them. You guys just want to make this a bobber right now and just like the hell with the
Shut up
subframe?
and put this thing on. Bobber. Make me stab you. That didn't fix it.
It didn't fix it?
Nope.
It fixed a problem. That's all I know. I thought we said goodbye to all these type of problems. What a story arc. This story
So
started-
flipping those little rubber buttons over allowed for clearance in between the heat shield and the actual pipe.
What do you mean?
This shield and the actual head pipe before they were touching.
Right. So this is definitely the way this goes on.
I doubt it.
Jeez.
How could you say definitely if not everything lines up?
Yeah, because it's not even pushing up against anything.
So I feel like this needs to go on like this. These rubber washers need to go on the other way, and this needs to be burned with fire.
Well, here's our deal. We've got a 959 that we're putting an exhaust system on that was built and designed for a 1299 that has a completely different subframe and completely different swing arm. So where this mounts on this bike has to be different. That much different than where it mounts on 1299.
At least
There's no way to move this that way.
right.
This is where the carbon lives, right here. And that's where the hole is, out here.
Man, if the hole could be like right here, we could just like drill into it, right? It would be terrible, just as terrible as cutting into it, but it would be doable.
I mean, we could drill a hole in it, but then we have a hole next to a hole. All right, I need Termignoni's customer line, and they're gonna have to put somebody on the phone that speaks English and speaks angry English. Because that's bullshit. You can't put that this pipe fits this bike if the shit doesn't fit. And if you're gonna make it that it needs to be altered, don't drill the hole.
Yeah.
Let
just leave
whoever's
the hole.
putting it on drill it. Put a little mark on it, you know, like 1199, 1299, 959. Oh, 959, drill this one.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
A little bit.
so let's get the shock in this thing and get all the weight off of the rest of the exhaust system.
Okay.
There's nothing we can do about that. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're okay.
This is going to be phone calls and emails and pictures and, you know,
We'll come back to this.
because as of right now with this thing running, it would do that. Because there's nothing holding that.
Yeah, so you guys will just we'll have to figure it out as we go later in the show and later down episodes. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, that shock is super nice.
We're at like super middle ground right now. We just have, wow.
Right, so we got this super awesome shock on, and the heat shield for our super duper fancy exhaust system sucks. And your gimbal is finding its own mind.
Become self-aware.
So overall, a pretty solid episode right now. Oh, I didn't do the budget thing. Oh, damn it. God, this thing cost this much. Shoot. I'm not good at that. We're here at the end of the episode. The good news is the new shock looks phenomenal.
And it was a nice fit.
And the rear shock was a nice fit. Speaking of nice fits, what is really not a nice fit is when a website or a manufacturer's website says that this exhaust fits this motorcycle. And
Well, I mean, you got to be nitpicky about it because the exhaust system does fit,
the exhaust, like the metal parts fit.
but the accessories for it don't.
Termignoni, we're not necessarily happy. We would love guidance, a solution to our problem. If you guys are watching this video at this point, I feel like we are all owed a solution to putting a front exit Termignoni exhaust onto a 2016 959 the right way, because the instructions, in my own personal opinion,
The instructions don't show anything about a 959. The instructions for 11.1299 only. So if you're going to say on your website that this exhaust system fits this machine, then you need to make sure that everything that comes in the box fits on the bike.
right. We've done the cutting, like the cutting of the carbon wasn't even, like it was terrifying, but like we did it, got it working.
We were going
that's
to have to
fine.
do that regardless.
Right. And we're okay with that. If we had to cut the carbon, whatever. But
The fact that this last mounting bolt,
the bike is not on, and that's the noise that it makes currently. Can you fathom, with a bike like this?
not
So,
only that,
hey.
but as it vibrates, it's going to chew through stuff.
Oh, true, because if you're watching this video and you work anywhere close to Termignoni, shoot us an email, because we would love to create some solutions with you. This is the end of episode 12. If you guys enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to win the motorcycle once we fix the heat shield, make sure to check out Patreon. That is where we're going to give this bike away once we finalize the dream bike process. Slightly downer episode, but at least we got a cool exhaust, or a cool shock on it. All right, outro crew. Y'all should definitely tweet Termignoni, for sure.
Outro crew, let us know if you would actually still buy a Termignoni exhaust system after this.
The shot has been fired.